Welcome to the Rich in Success podcast, the podcast that aims to define exactly what success means to you and gives you the tools to achieve this in your daily life. Hosted by action-taking mindset coach, world record holder and successful entrepreneur Matt Hall. Each week, this show brings you motivation, education and inspiration on how you can live a happier, more fulfilled and more successful life. Are you ready to take your life to the next level? If so, this is the podcast for you. Now, let today's lessons begin.
Okay, welcome back everybody to the Rich in Success podcast. I'm joined by my main man, Mr. Craig J. OSullivan, over in Dubai, right? That's where you are right now.
Absolutely, man. It seems to be the place to be at the moment. Every single time I click on someone's story, it's just like, just touched down in Dubai, just touched down. Everywhere I go, man, the gym, they hear the like Irish accent and they're like, "Oh, are you here to escape lockdown?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm here 2 years now." So I got here ahead of the crowd, thankfully.
Yeah, the beautiful thing is you're seeing people touch down and you're actually there. You're not aspiring to be there. You're all good. Rest of us over here in the UK are just looking at that as like the place to be. And we're on a lot of restrictions here. But is it pretty much just moving normally over where you are?
It's a very effective thing they've got. You land in the airport, you either have your COVID test, or else like me and Kiki didn't have to get our COVID test till we got here because we're residents. You get your test, you're told to like quarantine until you get your results, which only takes a couple of hours. You either have it or you don't have it. Simple as that. Temperature checks going into buildings, very efficient. It's running off kind of, you're tested. If you're positive, you isolate. They've got methods around it. They've, got the right protocols in play. And then if you're negative, just like I feel is the correct way to be, you live your life and continue on. And yeah, it seems to be working here. The fear factor isn't here due to the fact that people are trusting in the process. So I think Ireland and the UK especially have a lot to learn from it in terms of efficiency and effectiveness over this kind of second guessing factor that they're letting in play, because the problem is there's a lot of misinformation going around, and instead of living kind of cautiously, people are living in fear. And I just really don't think it, mentally it's like a lot of my clients are kind of, first lockdown, they could kind of cope with it. Second time round, whoa, this is getting tough. Third time round, man, they're losing kind of willpower, they're losing motivation. And I can see why. It was fine in the first lockdown, summertime, barbecue at the back garden. But now it's cold, it's windy, it's wet. Even if you can still go out and do, your walk within your radius, etc., depending on where you are. It's now in a place where it's so cold you don't want to go out.
That's the thing though, Craig, isn't it? It's like, even those that are motivated and take the health and fitness seriously and go and work out in the gym are still going to struggle to be motivated to work out in the snow, which is what we've been doing at the moment. So it's like the number one thing to beat COVID is making sure your immune system's good, making sure you're staying fit and you're healthy. There's like zero motivation to want to do that in the winter.
The problem with it is, and again, it's not speaking badly about the way that Ireland or England's ran, but this kind of method of shut your doors, order delivery, sit down, watch the TV. Yeah, that's great, but what about in 5 or 6 months' time when the economy's crashed? People who were in amazing shape and had an amazing mentality with their fitness, with their, with their entire process of the way their life is going, now have lost that rhythm, lost their mojo, lost their charisma for literally life. You know what I mean? They're not looking at the long game here. And the thing is, this isn't a short period of time in which, okay, guys, lock the doors and next week open up and everything's going to be fine. This is a long game, as I just said, and
there's no end in sight. There's no certainty of, if you just do this for another month, we're going to be fine. It's like it might go on for another month and another month. And I think that the thing that I always come down to is the less you do, the less you want to do. And it's this vicious cycle of going down and down and down. And mental health, physical health has to be number one, surely.
It's like this when it's even like when I give a client a plan, I always say rest day is an active rest day. Why? Because you get out, you go for a walk, you keep active, you bring your, you go out for a walk with the dog, you meet up with your friends, you play a game of football, whatever it is you do, you keep active that day while you're resting, due to the fact that, again, this method of the snowball effect, keep it rolling, keep it going. You don't just come to a halt. Like you said, if you've got a day where you're training 6 days and then on the 7th day you sit down and you eat popcorn all day and watch Netflix, it's very hard to reintegrate that in the following morning. Okay, fresh mindset. And again, the reason that, again, you know, it's meant to be about fitness, etc., and we've kind of gone off on a tangent due to COVID. But at the moment, the biggest factor affecting fitness, lifestyle, mindset, motivation, determination, all these factors that we're meant to cover here today, talking about, well, this is this is what I would say to do in the regular world. There's no point in giving that advice today, due to the fact that that advice isn't effective because the methods of doing them aren't there. They're near non-existent.
What's been the main things you've been having to say to your clients then, that, like, with regards to the ones in the UK, in Ireland? How are you managing to, if we like, pivot so that they can still get the results? Because I can see you are still getting great results for people regardless.
Yeah, you know what the thing is, man? It's showing people that, this is what I say to everyone. You've got two options. You lie down, you sit down, you watch Netflix and you play it out, and you hope for the best, and in a year's time or whenever, you get the ball rolling again. Or you hit hard, you hit back, and you keep it going. And the thing is, that what I tell everyone is the body responds to stimulus. Be it in the world's most effective, efficient, and well-kitted out gym, or be it at home with your resistant bands, or if you're there with 2 kg of water and you're curling it. Once you create a stimulus for the body will adapt. Your body doesn't know, oh, I'm using a hammer strength dumbbell. It just knows resistance. It's the same with cardio. It doesn't know if you're on the treadmill XR8 7000 military style compression belt bloody excavator. All it knows is heart rate is elevated. We're going to break a sweat. We're going to burn calories. So what I tell everyone is, if it may be harder, but we're going to create the stimulus to keep you progressing. And the number one thing that will motivate someone is, the amount of clients that go, hey, Craig, was really down and out, and next thing I saw dropping scales, or I saw added muscle mass, or I saw this week my body composition really changed. Once you spark that in them and they see, okay, this is different, but there is a method to it, that's how you keep them going. But for each person, it's hard, because for some people, they've got access to amazing home gyms. Some people have resistant bands. Some people have nothing. Some people are extremely lucky. I have clients that they're living in a 3-story mansion with 2 gyms and whatever. I've got clients that are, like, they've got kids, they've got busy lifestyles, they're stressed, they've got everything in the world going against them, and they're still getting it done. They're still smashing it. And that is the thing. If you can, the only thing I can do for these people during this time is personalize it to them. Yeah. Literally, it's the first time in my life where from morning to night, I am literally on my laptop. I get up, it is literally checking till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, get back up at 7, 8. And again, I have no problem doing it, because if those people have the motivation to check in with me during this time, in the middle of a pandemic, when they feel down and out, the very least I'm going to do for them is give them absolutely every resource, every type of effective, efficient, and just give them that little grasp of, there is a way out of this, there is a way through this, and that, you can look back at this and go, whilst other people failed, I succeeded. And if you can succeed in this type of environment, imagine what you can do when you can completely flourish in, the old world. You know what I mean?
They're even calling it that, isn't it? But you're dead right. And I just want to say now, if anybody's listening to this is something that I always talk about, is everything in life, there's always an easier or a harder route. And it's my belief, and this is like the reframe I give people, is it's like, the harder it is, the bigger the reward, right? So it's like, yes, you've more obstacles to overcome. Yes, you're going to be less motivated. Yes, you've less access to make this easier. But if you continue, it's that's going to make you then build your confidence even more, your self-pride, your self-worth. You're going to come through the other end, and you're going to appreciate, whether it's losing body fat, whether it's putting on size, whatever, even more, because you're like, fucking hell, I did it through that time, through a pandemic, when it was snowing, I had no access to anything, and yet I've still lost weight, put on strength.
And that's the thing, is if you can show people that there's progression in nearly sheer darkness in terms of, their light on the world, they can flourish, thrive, strive, and just absolutely annihilate the old version of themselves. I keep saying to people, 2021, make it the year that, you know, I don't want you to be a new you, just be an evolved, better, more adapted you. What I've been saying to every client, when they say, how are we going to get through this, Craig? I just say, we're going to adapt, evolve, and overcome. It's as simple as that. You've got to adapt to the circumstances, overcome all the obstacles, and just literally evolve in terms of your mindset. It may be your training alterations. It may be the access to nutritional values that you have. But whatever it is, it will get done. And the amazing thing that I've seen, and it's so good, is in terms of, and I was talking about this one with Joss today, was if you can use this time to break those habits. You went to the pub every Friday, Saturday night. Now the pub's not there. Save that money. Invest that money. Use it. You know, you can't get out to the shop to buy that box of fags. Brilliant. There's your excuse to quit. You know, you're used to drinking every night of the week, and all of a sudden it's not as easy to get to the shop. Boom. Cut down on your drinking. You know, invest in yourself. Use that money. It doesn't have to be in fitness. If it's starting that business, if it's, you know, investing in your kids' future, if it's investing in a helicopter, who cares what it is? It's better than going, oh, well, I watched all the Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's about adapting, adjusting. I always say, find those opportunities. No matter how shit things get, there's always opportunities. There's always lessons to learn. There is always positives. And that's the thing. That's the thing that I'm always trying to reinforce on this show. And you just put it absolutely brilliantly. That's exactly what I encourage people to do. Yes, it might not be easy, but it is always possible. Find those opportunities. Now, one of the things, Craig, like, I've followed you for quite a few years online. I love what you're about. And one of the main reasons that I wanted to get you on this show is because for a lot of the people that follow you and watch what you're about, you are kind of by definition that ideal influencer. You've got the life in Dubai, you've got the beautiful partner, you're living life on your terms together, great body, all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that I've noticed about you, and you just touched upon it there, you know, working till 3 a.m, is the fucking hard work ethic that you put in daily. And this is the thing, because this is the thing, mate, what I see time and time again is it's human nature to be sold on the gloss. It's human nature to see the finished result and be like, oh, I wish I could have that. And then just start to be in a bit of victim mode. Oh, well, they've been born lucky or whatever. And the reason I really wanted you on the show is to spill a bit of light on that. Like, what's the reality of what you've had to do and continue to do to live this life that you live in?
I'll put it such a man. I genetically, financially, whatever, was not born blessed with either or. So pretty much did out like secondary school or whatever you want to call it in the UK, and did my degree. I have a bachelor's degree in business information systems, and I did my 4 years in college. But first year, I was like, oh, I remember about 3 months into it, I came in, sat down in the kitchen, and I go to my dad, I will never use that degree. And he lost it. He went out through the roof. And I was like, don't worry, I'm going to finish the degree. I said I would. I'll do it. So second year came around and started getting more into fitness, more into it, started getting a bit of a following, and was just sharing my journey. By third year, college was nearly taking a back seat in terms of I was really pushing for building this platform that I could use that, again, and I didn't know it was ever going to work, just building a platform of information, giving it to people, trying to network as much as I could. And kind of by fourth year, it came to a place where me and Kiki were in a long distance relationship, but decided that we wanted to live together. So I used to drive 3 hours every morning from Kildare to Cork. She used to get a train for an hour to Dublin. Then I would go to college. I would go to the gym. I'd drive back up to hers. So the best story of it and the best way to summarize it was I decided then in the middle of it all, on my final year of college, I was going to prep. And the show normally would be around May time. I knew my exams were in April. So 28th of April, biggest final year exam worth 70% of the overall degree. And I said, perfect, not a bother. And then next thing, about 2 months into prep, about 8 weeks out of 16, the final show date for the show came on, the 27th of April. So I decided I had two choices. I could either back out or decide to skip my exams, or I could decide that I wasn't going to bother seeing Kiki for a few months because it was too hard, or that I was going to stop gymming. But I decided, no, I'm going to do all of these. So we prepped together, stayed doing the same thing. Literally, Kiki was in Kildare. Used to drive 3 hours up, 3 hours down every day, 2 and 4 from college. We gymmed together, trained together, prepped together. And I literally just remember sitting there the day before I was meant to fly to London, submitting finishing my final year project. This was now the final year project. Now that was worth 30%. The exam was worth 70. So this was about the 25th. I flew on the 26th. 26th at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. I, at a petrol station, submitted my final year project. Hopped to the airport, hopped in a plane, went over, got my food in, went on stage, competed about 3 or 4 o'clock, got called out for second reviews and stuff like that, and call outs at about 7, 8 p.m. in Marygate in London. Managed to win out my first show, got announced the winner at about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Went, got some food, hopped in a plane, flew home, didn't sleep, straight from Dublin, drove down to Cork, sat my final year exam, and came out of it at the end of it with a 1-1, delighted with life. And and in the meanwhile, during that time period is when I decided that I was going to also be an online coach. So I also had clients in the middle of it all. So from there, nothing was really ever going to be an uphill challenge. And finished off my exam with the first bit of money I made from coaching. Me and Kiki went on, and Kiki had started as well. We decided we'd go to Mexico, went to Mexico, and we sat down in the hotel room and we just go, we need to make a plan. Went and just sat down, said, this is what we're going to do. Had visited Dubai by just pure fluke. And I just said, we got to make ourselves so comfortable. We worked all summer, saved up the bit of money that we had. Didn't even told our parents we were flying it, paid for our companies, hopped on a flight over, and me and Kiki literally were just discussing about how this time last year we sat down and had a chat on this exact day, because I have the Snapchat memory. We were here now. We had been in Dubai about 2 months, and I said to Kiki, "Yeah, I have a thing on my phone." She go, and it was like a video of her going, "Oh, where can we buy VPN?" And I was like, "Oh, babe, that VPN's like €30 for the year. No way can we buy that. No way can we afford that." Meanwhile, telling everyone, like our parents, "Oh, we're flying it. We're doing whatever." And I just said, we're going to work and work and work and work, put in the hours. And I always said, I was never going to be happy in a 9 to 5. I was never going to be happy clocking in and out. So I decided to set up my own company. I've clocked in and I'm never clocking out. So if a client commits to me, I tell everyone, you get 110% from me, ever and always. You have my WhatsApp, you have my email, you have my Instagram, you have my everything. Once a person signs up to me, that is it. You'll see I'm lucky that my clients give me really good feedback. But every single day of the week, it'll be positivity, positivity, positivity. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, when you're wrecked tired, an email comes in and it goes, "Hey, Craig, for the first time ever, I've overcome an eating disorder. For the first time ever, my motivation's high. For the first time ever, my mom says, I look way better." Or the smallest little things. That just will be like, boom, we're doing it. We're growing. We're developing. And my thing is, it's an amazing thing in terms of I've never, ever, ever had interest in, I'm lucky the degree I have, I could have gone into it, got a good job, set salary, probably a company car or some rubbish like that. But I just could never, ever, ever be satisfied. Just instead of ticking the boxes for my goals and for my lifestyle, ticking the boxes to get through the day. I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care what day of the week it is. If an email comes in, I'm working. If a client inquiry comes in, I'm working. Doesn't matter if it's Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. It does not matter, because I said I didn't want to clock in and out. I wanted to clock in, and I'm never clocking out. And that is just where I get motivation from, is when you get feedback from a client, and people are always like, "Oh, Craig, like, it's amazing. Like, how do you manage to share transformations every day?" And I'm like, because I track every client. Every client is a profile. Every client, to know what they're going through. It may be mental progression. It may be emotional progression. It could be anything, but we will progress. For each client, it is completely different. For some people, it's overcoming an eating disorder. For some people, it's fitting into that dress for their wedding. For some people, it's just becoming fit and healthy so that they see live a few years longer for their kids. But no matter what that goal is, once you come to me and commit to me, you've got 100% commitment from me. And in terms of, I guess it doesn't really fully answer your question in terms of what do I have to do to get to where I got. I just decided what I wanted to do with my life, committed to it. And, I really feel that this whole thing of what's meant to be is meant to be. There's no such thing as that. If that was the case, that means I should have just, finished college. Someone came and went, "Here you go, Craig. Here's your company. Here's a flight to Dubai. Off you go." But I do believe 110% what you put in, you'll get back out. There's no such thing as luck. If you put yourself in a positive environment enough times, positive outcomes are going to come out of it. If you put yourself in a negative position and an environment enough times, a negative thing is going to come out of it. So to those of you who are unlucky, think about what environment you're putting yourself in. For those of you who feel that, you always hit luck, you always hit that, you always hit it on the button, have a look. What way is your mindset? Are you putting yourself in those positions? Because every person I've met out here that's succeeding has the exact same mindset. I'm going to put the work in and see what comes back out of it. And again, I've just said luck doesn't exist, but again, maybe it does to a certain extent in terms of, I'm lucky that I worked and people acknowledged it and said, "Oh, that's the guy I want to go with." Some people may respect what you're doing, but may not want to sign up with you. I'm lucky in terms of that people commit to me, people, I'm lucky.
Craig, I'd say it goes back to your first statement. You've created that. And this is the thing, like, you've answered it perfectly. You've made a decision, you've got clear on your vision, you've stuck to it, and you've put in the work daily, consistently, for long enough. People are going to be attracted to that when you're putting out enough value and you can see that they can trust you because it's consistent. And this is the thing that I want people listening to really, really respect, is it's like, success is all your fault. Like, you fully are in control of it. The only thing that I always think is you cannot put a time limit on it. For some people, they'll do the work and they'll get the result in 6 months. For others, it might be 60 years, right? But the point is, do the work for long enough, be consistent and authentic, the results come.
If you put yourself in a positive environment enough times, positive outcomes are going to come out of it.
Yeah.
If you put yourself in that negative environment, if you say, "I want to be the next, fitness model pro, I want that pro card, I want them abs, I want that," and you go to the gym, you're creating the environment for that to actually happen. You're creating the stimulus. If you say to yourself, "I want to be the next pro fitness model," and then go to the pub and drink some pints and eat a packet of bacon fries, can you, and that's a basic one, but it's no different than saying, this year I really want to find, what I'm good at. That means you have to go look for it.
Yeah.
It's not going to come to you. I'm sure Michelangelo wasn't out in the garden kicking a football off the wall and then went accidentally, "Do you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to start painting." I'm sure he tried loads of things and failed. I've tried loads of things and failed. For a while there, when I was 15, 16, thought, I might be the next Cristiano Ronaldo. Then I realized that I couldn't drive a ball from here to the wall without hitting a window. So I said, okay, we're going to change the stimulus. Let's see what we're good at.
People that have achieved success on whatever level, in whatever field, have always failed more times than most people would even try to succeed. And I think that's
the thing. And the thing is, you got to realize, this whole thing of, especially with social media, people go, how many times have you heard people go like, well, starting off my first business, so excited that everyone follow my page. Yeah. And then next thing, because they don't wake up the following morning with 10,000 followers, the page is deleted. And you're going,
else. Yeah.
You've got to commit to it. I started with a client.
Yeah.
Then it was 2. Then it was 3. You know what I mean? It takes time, and it takes, it's the exact same as, let's take, for the example, you want to be a professional footballer. Maybe the first trial you go to, you fall over on your ass and miskick the ball. And, next thing, are you going to decide that you're going to quit forever? No. Next time you get a trial, you might score a hat trick, score a bicycle kick, and, the scout from Manchester United could be sitting in the stands and go, that's the next guy. It's a matter of, like I keep saying, it doesn't matter what it is. Just put yourself in the environment for a positive outcome to come, and next thing you'll become one of these so-called lucky people. There is no such thing as luck. You're the result of the environment that you continuously put yourself in. And that is the best way I can put it. You know what I mean? If you surround yourself with good people, good things are going to happen. If you surround yourself in a positive atmosphere, a positive environment, you give out good vibes, good, enthusiasm, you're going to attract it back. So like I say to everyone, when they say, Craig, what will I do? Is there a course I can do? Is there something I can do? How did you grow your following? I just kept putting it out there. And every time someone replied to a story going, don't care, bud, ha ha ha, or ha ha, you only can use the 20 kgs. There was a time when I was PBing on 20 kg. Who cares? That's your PB. There's a reason it's called your personal best, not the world record. You don't need to always be going for the world record. Everyone starts off somewhere. Cristiano Ronaldo is now the world's top highest ever goal scorer. He had to score his first goal. He had to score his second goal. He didn't just start off with 700 goals a day. You've got to put yourself into position to just thrive. You can do 2 things: deprive yourself of the environment, or put yourself in it and thrive. Deprive or thrive. They're your 2 choices. It's up to you what you do. And like you said, people go, oh, Craig, but I put myself in that environment so many times and it's never happened. Okay, but the next time it might.
And the other thing is, stay there. It's the consistency bit. Like, the actual foundations for achieving anything, any goal, whether it be financial, whether it be a physical goal, doesn't matter. They're really fucking basic. It's not actually rocket science. The logic is pretty simple. The problem is, A, people are not around the right people that keep them motivated because they're led by emotion. And B, they just do not stick it out. They're yo-yos, and they try one coach and one diet plan. They don't get results in 8 weeks, so they go to somebody else. And then they start downloading a 6-month course, whatever. It's like, pick a route, stick at it, do it for long enough, you'll get a result.
And it's like I said, we'll take it back to even COVID at the moment. Craig, COVID's been awful to me. I've put on weight. My girlfriend broke up with me, and I've started fighting with my family. Okay, you put on weight. Have you been following any kind of nutrition at all that you would have in the real world? No, I've just been eating crisps on the couch. Okay, there's the problem. Here's the solution. You and your girlfriend broke up. Okay, well, did you make time to Skype her when you couldn't see her in person? Nah, I didn't bother. I was watching Peaky Blinders. Okay, there's your problem. You're fighting with your parents. Okay, you're spending more time with them. Learn to evolve and adapt to the situation. Play ball with them. That's what I'm saying is, again, whereas you've got a person who goes, whoa, Craig, I learned this during lockdown. My relationship's in an all-time high, and I've never been in better shape. Okay, so did you Skype your girlfriend? Did you stick to nutrition? Did you start doing home workouts? Yes, yes, and yes. That could be the exact same person. Look at the outcome differences. And that's all I keep telling people. I could very easily be right now sitting in Cork, living in my parents' house, working a 9 to 5, miserable. But no, I just put myself in an environment where I hope for the best. Well, I didn't just hope for it. I worked for the best.
Worked for it. Yeah, you
worked to the best of my abilities. Did what I could when I could. And look where it came out. Like I said, genetically, financially, there's been nothing special about me. I've just put in the work. It's the same for every single person. It doesn't matter if someone starts off, like, at the end of the day. And, another thing is, hard work will always beat talent. You've got someone who's naturally, takes the gym, genetically superior than you, and they just half-ass their gym sessions. 6 months down the line, you work your ass off, you'll overtake that person. Hard work will beat talent. You can it's an amazing thing. If you watch how the world can, it's like this. Take, for example, a shark and a dolphin. 10 times out of 10 in your head, a shark should beat a dolphin. What have dolphins done? Evolved, adapted, overcome, and they literally, like, the method dolphins use is they literally go back, come at sharks at full force, hit them with a part of their skull which has become hardened as a defense mechanism, and it's proven that sharks no longer attempt to attack dolphins due to the fact that they know, okay, there's a high possibility that we're going to lose this.
Honestly, I never even heard that. Is that an actual fact?
Swear to God, literally, you can Google it. What they do, sharks come, or whatever type of predator comes, they swim off, literally, and instead of staying running, which 9 out of 10 people do, they turn around, head down, straight into them. Look at that as methodology in life. When you're running from something, turn around, full speed, head down, evolve, adapt, overcome, boom. And that is literally, be a dolphin. That is all I have to say to you in this circumstance. You know what I mean? It's easy to be a shark. You could be born a shark. Most people are born dolphins. Learn to fight back. Learn to overcome. Learn to adapt. Learn that there's a mechanism around everything, and you will thrive. Like I keep saying, thrive or deprive yourself. What do you want to do? You know what I mean? I see so many people, oh man, I really want to be in shape. Do you have gym membership? No. Do you work out at home? No. Do you stick to any nutrition? Nah, I love Mackie D's too much. Okay, the likelihood of this happening for you is quite slim. You know what I mean? Oh man, I'd love to have a $1 million company. Did you register a company yet? No. How is it going to happen? The snowball effect. Every avalanche started as a snowflake. You know what I mean? Look at it that way. You can use whatever metaphor. You can be a snowflake. You can be a dolphin. I don't know. I don't care what you call yourself, who you call yourself, or what you want to do in life. Just learn to put in the work, start at day one, and watch how it evolves.
Do you know what, Craig? Like, there's so many questions that I could ask you about, like, how have you built your following and how have you done this, how have you done that? The answers are the same, right? And it is, the fact is, work hard enough, be intentional about that work, do it for long enough, you will get the result. I always remember the Will Smith clip. I don't know if you've seen it. It was years ago, and he always said, I'm not the most talented actor. I'm not the most talented singer or rapper. I'm not the most talented comedian. There's better ones than me. And I always remember him saying, have you seen this clip, by the way?
No.
It's great. He always says, he says on the clip, the only thing that's different about me and the other person is if we get on a treadmill, the other person's getting off first, or I'm going to die on the treadmill. He said, that is it. That's all I've got. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. And that is exactly what you're saying. Hard work beats talent when talent isn't working hard enough. And it's a cliche saying, but it's true. It's the truth.
That's what I'm saying. Literally, man, this is like a book of cliches. We're snowflakes, dolphins, and we're the hardest workers in the room. But there's a reason they've become cliche. Because they've been said so many times because they're so effective, they've become a cliche. Something doesn't become a cliche by accident. It means that something has happened for such a long period of time that something clicks in people's brain and they go, oh, there's a correlation between the two. And if you can just put yourself into that aspect of whatever it is in life, just stick with it. It doesn't matter what way you go about it. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Just stick with it. You know what I mean?
Craig, literally, I could talk to you all day. You are literally like speaking my language so much. Just because we're come towards wrapping up, with everything you've done, with where you're at now, what is your main vision moving forward? Is it just a case of keep putting yourself out there, working hard, giving value, and things just build? Or have you got a clear vision on where you want to go?
You know what I always say is I believe in setting progressions, but I don't believe in setting set goals and timeframes. So my goal is to progress, to get more clients, to get a better company, to have a nicer apartment, to have a better relationship, to whatever it is, but I don't put a time frame on it, and I don't have a set goal. You know what I mean? You can't say, oh, this day next year, if I work hard enough, I'm going to have X, Y, and Z, because it may not happen. It could happen sooner. It could happen beforehand. I'm going to stay physically growing. I'm going to stay mentally advancing. I'm going to stay investing in my company. I'm going to stay investing in what it is that I'm doing. You know, I'm always looking to move forward. I'm always looking to progress. And the thing is, you don't always need to have a set goal.
No.
Just set your goals on progression. So if you tell yourself, I'm not setting a goal for this month, but I'm setting a goal for today. Like I said, all I ever say is I get up every morning and tick the boxes.
Yeah.
That's all I've ever done. And I go to bed, except every day the boxes change. And eventually you tick enough boxes that someone takes notice.
Yeah.
And that's all I've ever done, is just ensure I get up. If it's drinking your 4 liters of water, if it's sticking to your plan, if it's going to your college lecture, if it's whatever it is, just set a goal on progression. Don't set goals, just set the goal of progression.
Yeah.
And when you progress, like I keep saying, then you put yourself in the environment that opportunities open. And then that's when you can decide, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go down this route now due to my progression. But if you set a goal, you still have to progress, and that progression brings you to the goal. Instead of setting the goal, I just continue to progress. And then as the progression advances, I see opportunities opening up left and right. And I decide I'm going to go down this channel, I'm going to go down this channel. And that's the way I've always gone with it. And I feel like that's pretty much the only advice I have is, and why I feel that I've managed to succeed in a very, very saturated market, is due to the fact that I've never said I'm going to be the next this, I'm not going to be the next that, I'm not going to be the next anything. I'm going to be Craig J. I'm going to be the only version of myself. I'm going to stay advancing and stay building, and hopefully then one day someone will say, oh, well, I want to be like that guy. You know, someone will say, instead of me saying, oh, you know, my goal isn't to be like anyone, it's just that hopefully someday I can motivate someone to go, oh man, I'd love to be able to achieve some of the things you've achieved. And that's all I ever say to people, is setting goals is sometimes nearly as restrictive as not setting goals, because what happens is you get blindsided. You know, you don't see opportunities to the left, you don't see opportunities to the right, because you're focused in the middle. If you just focus on progression, you're still looking left, you're still looking right, you're still looking ahead of you, and sometimes an opportunity will come from behind you. So never be afraid to just look down all channels, look down all methods, but all I keep saying is one step ahead of the other. As long as you're going, I don't care if you're crawling, tiptoeing, going, you know, if you're walking backwards or if you're on your hands and knees crawling, it doesn't matter what you're doing, just stay moving forward. As long as you don't stop, you're not going backwards.
Fully.
And that's all I can say to people. You know, like I said, sometimes that set goal can be the set boundary that stops you ever achieving it, is because you're too focused on it.
And also, the other side of that, Craig, is it can become a state of procrastination, because if you go, that's my goal by the end of the year, the reality is with some people, with the right mindset, the right support, they could have it achieved in 4 weeks. But because they've gone, that's my goal by then, they can let themselves go easy. It's like you could probably do that in 30 days. So that's the other side. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And it's that mentality of why you are winning, because you're not looking for the win. You're looking for every day, I want to be better. I want to make progress. Like
I said, man, blinkers are for racehorses. Don't blindside yourself. Don't ignore the opportunity to the left. Don't ignore the opportunity to the right. Sometimes looking straight ahead, it may be the best direction to go, but it's not always the only direction to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes you've got to go, sometimes the path isn't straight. It's a zigzag, it's a loop-the-loop. It doesn't matter what it is. But even if it's a loop-the-loop, have a look at it. It's always going up, back around, but it still comes back up again. And sometimes you got to come down to come back up. But as long as you always have in your head the end goal is coming back up, it doesn't matter. Just never let yourself be in that position where you're so set on going forward that you miss the opportunities to do so. You know what I mean?
Craig, you're an absolute star. Before I let you go, I've got some quick fire section questions that I want to do. And they're just kind of like either or options. So here we go. This is the quick fire section. So number 1, 2 cups of coffee a day or 0 caffeine?
2 cups of coffee.
You like your caffeine?
Yeah, it keeps you going, keeps you... Sometimes, again, it might be a placebo effect, but there's an association there with coffee, being like-minded, striving forward. I go out every single morning, do my steps, get my coffee, walk back, and it's that little end goal at the end of it in the morning that keeps me, going. And so, you know what I mean? Instead of, it's not that, I like coffee, but it's just, my daily routine is I walk and go get a coffee fasted. So again, if I take that out, I ruin my pattern and I ruin the set environment I have for myself. So I'm going to keep those 2 coffees in there and get my 2 walks in.
And a couple of monsters, right?
And a couple of monsters, if I can get my hands on them out here.
Are they hard to get in Dubai?
Impossible.
Oh, really?
Absolutely impossible. Yeah, they don't have them here.
Oh, man. I live on the 0-calorie monster. Next question. Weights or cardio?
Weights all day long. All day long. I will lift weights. I will PB every single day. But I'm not going to lie to you. Put me on a treadmill for 40 minutes and it will feel like 16 years. But again, still just get it done. You know what I mean? You'll prefer one, but both come hand in hand.
Yeah, both important. Nice one. Next one, city life or country life?
Oh, you're talking to a country boy who adapted into city life. I'm going to say early in my life, city life. As I get older, probably more country life.
Love it. Love it. Next one, meditation or reading?
Okay, so this is actually one massive thing I have is meditation, because I don't watch, this is a mad thing. People think that I'm lying when I say this, but I don't watch TV. I don't watch YouTubes in terms of people's mindset and things like that. All I do is I've made up my own decisions and my own mindset and my own methodology around the environment in life that I've experienced. So I completely believe in just having my own mindset. Yeah. Sometimes the problem about reading and things like that, again, some people think this is ridiculous, but if you read a book and you get some knowledge, technically all you've done is gain knowledge from someone else's point of view, whereas you could read another book and, for example, get a completely different point of view. For example, if you read about World War II from a German's point of view, they're trying to purify the world. They've done nothing wrong. If you read about World War II from, an English person's point of view, Germany were trying to destroy the entire world and they were doing all kinds of horrendous things. So again, sometimes keeping in your own little bubble, making your own life decisions keeps your mind a lot clearer than trying to adapt someone else's point of view.
Yeah, and also the big thing that I always talk about is people read books on personal development or fitness, and they're like, I've gained knowledge. Yeah, you have, but what are you going to do with it? And people don't realize they don't. The other problem
is there's so many books out there. If you want to find a book about the benefits of keto, you'll find one. If you want to find a book on how destroying keto is, you'll find one. So sometimes, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to keep in your own lane and not read. Instead of reading, sometimes you're just listening to someone else's point of view. So like me, I'll always keep my own point of view based off my life experiences.
Yeah. Less reading, more doing. Figure it out.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Less reading doesn't mean that you gain less knowledge. Instead of reading, talk to more people. Get on, you know what I mean? Get involved. Do more things. Instead of reading about that, city in Rome or, reading about whatever it is, save up your money, decide you're going to quit smoking, put all that money aside, and at the end of the year, go and visit that place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Set something in play.
Yeah, fucking love it, mate. Next one. This will be interesting. 4 hours sleep or 10 hours sleep?
10 hours, honestly. Yeah. Coming from a man who runs off very little sleep, sleep is amazing. It's powerful. It's, I beat my body up every day. And I tell all my clients, make sure you're getting your sleep. And they're like, but you don't sleep. And I'm like, exactly. And I'd be in a lot better position if I did. So always 10 hours sleep.
Yeah, got it. Next one, build a brighter future or become more at peace with your past?
Build a brighter future, always. The past is the past. You can't change anything with it. Love it, dislike it, hate it, want to go back to it. You're not going to get back there. The future's always coming. I don't care about the past. It happened. If you settled with it, if you were at peace with it, if you hate it, if you have nightmares about it, you can't change it. Your psychologist can't change it. There's no time machines invented yet So just focus on changing the future. And then eventually, if you change the future, you're happy with the future. When you look back in the past, you're happy with the past because the future's been good. So, you know what I mean? Just keep looking forward.
And the final one of the quick fire is being broke but in love, or wealthy and alone?
Being broken in love, it sounds cliche, but I wouldn't be where I am only for the fact of the sport I have off Kiki. I remember sitting down and going, oh, well, no one's going to want coaching off me. Nobody's going to want this. I'm never going to win a show. You know what I mean? And having that person that kind of gives you a little kick up the ass and goes, well, you can do it if you fucking decide to do it. And again, taking my own advice, put myself in the environment where it can happen, and all of a sudden, it happens.
Yeah.
So if you've just, again, like it's like a network of support. What good is being rich and lonely if, you know, you're not emotionally happy, you're not advancing, you're not progressing? I know plenty of people with 10 kids working 5 jobs, sleeping 2 hours, and they're the happiest people in the world. You hop in some of the taxis here in Dubai, they'll be showing you pictures of their kids. They haven't seen them in 4 or 5 years, but by God, they're working their ass off every day because they love them so much and they're so motivated by them. You'll hop in a car with a fella in a Rolls Royce. He might be depressed. He may have issues with his life. He may be struggling with all kinds of things, and he just doesn't have the support there. So again, you're asking me, do you want support? Do you want warmth and an environment to flourish? Or do you want obtainable items that, you know what I mean? It's really like asking someone, would you rather progress and have some kind of an actual something to live for, or would you rather have a shiny, you know, plate up in your silverware cabinet? It's a no-brainer for me.
But what I love about the way you've answered that is what you're saying to me is, be in love with the right person, you'll get all the shiny stuff by default anyway, just as an add-on.
Again, let's hit them with the cliches, but you know what I mean? It comes down to so many things, but like I said, you'll hop in a taxi here in Dubai. They're working for nothing. They've not seen their kids. You'll always ask them when you're last home, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and they'll tell you how much they love their wife, how motivated they are by their thing. You know, it doesn't matter what they are, and you'll go out to a nightclub and there'll be some fella spending cash dollar left and right and this and that. And what's he got to go home to? What's he got to show? What's he got to, you know what I mean? And I've started in a place where when me and Kiki started, literally I'd be like to my mom and dad, oh, can I have money to bring Kiki on a date? Whereas now I can like go out and afford to buy her nice jewelry and do all these things. Our relationship didn't get any better when the shiny things came. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, if you've got the right environment, you've got the right support, you're going to be a lot happier than, you know, whatever it is. I know a lot of unhappy men in Rolls Royces, and I know a lot of people of happy men in Toyota Corollas. So look at it that way.
Craig, you're an absolute legend. I just want to acknowledge you and say thank you for being such an honest person that's out there, hardworking, and documenting the whole thing truthfully on social media, but importantly, changing a lot of lives as a result of your actions, your mindset, and your support. It's fucking brilliant to see. Thank you for your time today. If anybody wants to check you out online and all that kind of thing, give them all the info. Where do they find you?
Literally, best thing, I'm a simple man. I stick to one method. Hit me up on Instagram. I will be literally on it from morning to night. I may be asleep for about 2 hours, but you'll catch me at Craig J. O'Sullivan on Instagram. And yeah, literally drop me a message, drop me a DM. Ever looking for coaching, anything, everything is right on that page. My coaching page is Craig J. Coaching. Literally hit me up, get involved, share your story, share your journey, be a dolphin, whatever it is, just hit me up.
Love it. And final question before we finish. What is your definition of success?
Constant progression. 2 words. That as simple as that. I could go on a spiel for the next. You can hear me here. I can talk and talk and talk, but just constant progression. I feel like I'm succeeding when I'm progressing, and if it's constant, then your sense of success is never ending. So there you go. 2 words, simple as that.
Brilliant.
And there you go, everybody. I hope you found that a valuable episode. What a guy. Absolutely loved that conversation with Craig. I just thought that it was bang on point with everything he was saying, completely aligned with the whole ethos and the whole message here at Rich in Success. As he says, do go follow him, do check him out. He's a great person to be following, to be keeping up to date with. And do not forget, we've got some more great episodes coming up, including my collaboration with Love Island star Mr. Adam Collard, multimillionaire businesswoman Hither Mann, and also much, much more. So please make sure you're subscribed, keep on following the journey, and remember, keep going out there, taking massive action, working on the best version of you, and constantly making progress as the journey of self-discovery and personal growth continues. Thank you so much. I'll see you all soon.